गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, सम्यक इंस्टीट्यूट में आपका स्वागत है। नाउ वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद हरी हिस्ट्री, and if we are studying about history, then it's obvious that we would definitely talk about what is history and why we should study history, and what is the reason behind that. If we are studying history, then why should we study history? Main thing is this: if we are studying history here, if we want to study history, then we must know that what is the importance of history. What is the importance of history? As a person, whoever a person is, a person has his experience of life experience, has his life experience. As a person has his life experience. Similarly, experience of a society, experience of a society is history. Experience of society is history. Now, if you would say that experience of society, then what experience is needed here, or what experience should be there and all? Then, friends, in reality, experience means as a person learns from the mistakes of his life, learns from the mistakes of his life, Similarly, experience of a society means society must learn from its mistakes, must learn from its mistakes. This is the main thing. Why? If a society wants to learn, why a society must learn from its mistake? Because it is a simple saying, it is a simple thought, or people used to say, or a historian mainly used to say, that if a society do not learns from history, if a society do not learns from history, then it have to learn, it have to live that phase once again. If a society do not learns from history, it have to learn, it have to live that phase once again. For example, if you would say that India was a colony of British, India was a colony of British. Yes, it is true. This is only a fact. This is mere a fact that India was a colony of British. It is reality, in reality, and it is a fact. History, it is history. It is history of India. Then what is the importance of this phase, or what is the importance of this part, that is from 1707, or you can say from 1757, from 1757 till 1947, Britishers dominated history of India. Britishers dominated history of India, or we can say Britishers dominated history of India, or we can say here, or here we can say that not only Britishers, actually what we want to study from history is why, how, what was the reasons, what were the reasons due to which we lost in front of Britishers? What were the reasons due to which we lost in front of Britishers, or our rulers were not able to predict the situation or predict the system established by the Britishers, predict the policies established by the Britishers? What were the reasons that we became a colony? Along with it, we also must learn that why partition of India took place. Why partition of India took place? What was the reason behind? People used to say divide and rule. Yes, divide and rule was the problem of that time. Divide and rule was the policy adopted by the British at that time. But the main thing was that not only divide and rule, or you can say divide and rule was the policy adopted by the British, but a policy cannot be implemented. Mainly the divide and rule politics cannot be implemented until unless some fault lines are not present in your society, and until unless those forces which are very much which are useful for the division of society, which are responsible to fill that fault lines, are weaker than the divisive forces. This is the main thing. Fault line means fault line of Hindu and Muslim, fault line of upper class, lower class, fault line of Tamil versus Punjabi or regionalism, fault line of casteism, fault line of every, or whatever the divisions can be done, Mool Nivasi versus Aryans, outsider versus insider, converted versus non-converted, etc. type of divisions. A lot of divisions are present in our society, and these type of divisions always remains present in our society. Now, these are called fault lines. These are called fault lines. How these fault lines caused partition of India is important, and the study of this reason is history. Why the partition of India took place? What were the fault lines present in our society? What are the fault lines present in our society in present day also? These are all the discussions or debates you can see that these usually goes on in our society day by day in our daily life. But the main thing is that if we are not ready to learn the lessons, learn about these fault lines, learn the lessons about the lessons from the partition of the society, or partition, whatever the partition took place in our society, then we cannot expect then that our society would remain stable, or we can say that one more partition could be done, or one more partition could take place. For example, these fault lines generally based on the principle of we versus they. Actually, what is a fault line? Fault line always present in a society. Yes, you can say fault lines always remains present in the society, I am saying. Then if this fault line is present in our society, then the concept of we versus they is present. This we versus they was present in history also, and this we versus they is present in present time also. Now, the concept of we versus they, the benefit of we versus they was taken by benefit of it was taken by Britishers, was taken by Britishers. Benefit of we versus they. Benefit of we versus they was taken by Britishers. We means we Hindus, you Muslims, they are Muslims. We Brahmins, they are Jats. We Brahmins, they are Rajputs. We are Rajputs, they are Dalits. We are Dalits, they are outsiders. We are Mool Nivasi, they are this. We are from Rajasthan, they are from Gujarat. We are from UP, they are from Bihar. We are Punjabi, they are Marathi. This we versus they is a fault line. This benefit was the benefit of these fault lines, or you can say this policy of divide and rule was adopted by Britishers, and it got successful because fault lines were already present in our society. And these fault lines, how these fault lines were widened, how these fault lines were widened by the Britishers, the study of it is very much important, because if we are not aware, or if we are not ready to study it, or if we are not ready to accept that we versus they is disastrous, we is disastrous if it is compared to they, then another partition could take place in our country. Another partition could take place also. Another partition could take place. To prevent this partition, to prevent this partition, to prevent one another partition, to prevent social conflict, to prevent all those reasons of division or conflicts, we must need to study history. What are the reasons behind partitions? What were the reasons that we became a colony of Britishers? Why Britishers? What steps taken by the Britishers which made them as a modern society, as an advanced society as compared to Indian societies or rest of the societies of rest of the world? Because Europeans ruled approximate whole of this world. Europeans ruled approximate whole of this world. That is why I am talking about, or I am saying that this must be the situation, and this must be the reason that history is studied by us. Now the next is, history must be studied by us. There must be a reason. Not all the students must study history, but at least those who want to become social engineer, or who want to become the destiny maker of this country, who want to become something who is going to decide about the future of our country. Until unless we don't know history, we cannot take decisions taking future in our consideration, or you can say कि हम अपने future के बारे में तब तक नहीं सोच सकते. We cannot think about our future until unless we are not ready to think about our past, or we are not ready to take lessons from our past. Because experience, as it is, experience of a person is important for the development of a person, because he is learning from his mistakes. Similarly, a society must learn from its mistakes so that another division cannot take place in an easy way, or you can say whatever the way. Now next is history of India, mainly for UPSC, history for UPSC. If you would say that why history of UPSC is important, how we can divide the history of UPSC, then I must say one is the PT part, another is the mains part. One is the PT part, other one is the mains part. Now if we would say that this is the PT part and this is the mains part, then in this PT part, what you would say, what is the syllabus of history, then you can say definitely it is ancient, medieval and modern. These are the three parts of history here. And what books you should follow, in my opinion, and one more portion, in my opinion, it is art and culture is the part of ancient and medieval ancient and medieval history. But some students used to ask about that, sir, art and culture is also also been asked, then why you are not writing here? Actually, in reality, art and culture is the part of ancient and medieval history. Therefore, these are the main three contents, and what books you should follow to prepare for PT history. One thing which is important for UPSC, don't go much more behind facts. Facts are important but not so much. Here also, concept is important along with fact. Concept is more important along with fact, and major portion is asked on the basis of concept. Therefore, since major portion is asked on the basis of concept, therefore, what happened? We have to study about this concept, and this concept can be clarified by NCERT. Maybe it is old or maybe it is new. If you are able to read both, then 11th and 12th class, old NCERT is required. NCERT is required, and which is old, it must be old NCERT. And these NCERTs would cover the art and culture portion also. And 6th to 12th NCERT, and these are new. If somebody is ready to study both these NCERTs, then he would not have any need to study any book further for PT as well as for mains, mainly medieval, modern and ancient history. Some students used to ask that whether world history is asked in the UPSC exam or not. Then reality is world history is not being asked, or is not asked in PT examination. Therefore, don't go with the facts of world history. Now, second part, which is one of the most important part of history, where you can say mains examination, and whole of your syllabus depends on this part also. Whole of major portion of your syllabus depends on your mains portion also, because approximate 1750 marks are generally asked in this portion. Now here history contributes about 100 to 120 marks. 100 to 120 marks, including modern history, world history and art and culture. The main syllabus is modern history, second is world history, and the third one is art and culture part. And in this art and culture, some parts of ancient society are also being asked in our syllabus, or mainly in the part of Indian society. Ancient society is generally asked, questions from ancient society are also being asked in your examinations. Now if you would say that this is modern history part, this is world history part, and this is art and culture part, what things you should follow? The books which are basically required are these NCERT. Don't go with any other further books or all. In modern history part, different is there. In world history part, different books are there. Modern history part, if you want to study about modern history, then go for Spectrum. Rajiv Ahir is there. Rajiv Ahir, Spectrum is there. This is one of the best books for UPSC mains mainly. It would also cover your PT. And if you are covering NCERT 11, 12 and 6 to 12th class, there would you don't have any then you don't have any need to go with spectrum. If you are reading spectrum, then you can avoid the modern history part of these books. Now world history part. In this world history section, what you would write, in my opinion, my notes are much more sufficient, but still if you want to study about world history, then new NCERT of 11th and 12th class are very much important, or these are quite capable to make you understand the concept of world history. Don't go with any bulky book and all. Third is art and culture. In my opinion, NCERT would definitely cover a good portion, even best portion of your NCERT. But art and culture also comes from the discussions of or editorials of The Hindu. Editorials of The Hindu. Art and culture part is also asked in editorials of The Hindu. If editorials of The Hindu are asked, then you can say that yes, it is okay, or yes, it is very much impressive. Next part is society. Then you can say Indian society can be asked from your art and culture NCERT of ancient and medieval parts. Old and new ones, there is no problem. If you were to consider cover the new ones, then your NCERT, your Indian society part, mainly which belongs to the ancient and medieval period, that would also be covered with this book. These books, mainly NCERT, because you don't have any need to focus more and more, or for do any more labor on this section. Focus on NCERT. It would definitely cover your PT as well as mains. Don't go with specialized books. If you want to go with specialized book or purchase something extraordinary book or something different, then just for your to quench your appetite, then just go with spectrum and don't go with bulky books and all. Understand? My suggestion is this to you. Now let us start our topic, and we are starting your UPSC class. We are starting our UPSC class with modern history. Then why should we study modern history, and from here, from where this modern history section starts. Now if you would study about modern history, then generally history is mainly divided into three parts, as many of your books or many of your teachers used to teach: ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient, medieval and modern history. But the main thing, many of your teachers used to tell you that this section of history, or ancient, belongs to Stone Age, consists of from Stone Age to approximate 1192. People used to say, or some historians used to say, that this is the part of till 1192. This is ancient history. They generally divide all this phase into on the basis of Hindu kingdoms. Similarly, second phase is medieval phase. Medieval phase is generally consists of, as divided by the historians, 1192 AD to approximate 1757 AD till 1757 AD. Now they used to claim that from 1757, or there are different things, till 1757 till 1964. This is the modern history part of India. But can we divide whole of our history in these three phases or in these three periods, then in my opinion, if you would ask or if you would say that whether we are in right direction or not, that whether we study history in a particular in these three parts, or whether we whether this division or partition of history on the basis of dates and on the basis of these fixed dates is important, then I would definitely say this is totally hypothetical, and I cannot accept this type of division of history in any way, because the main thing is the reality is, you would definitely say that what is history? History is nothing but a continuous process which always goes on. Continuous process which always goes on. It never stops, always goes on with time. With time. It always goes on with time. It never stops. It never stops. One part of the other always goes on, and events, collection of events, actually events usually takes place. These events are generally denoted by the dates. These dates are important just to remember the event. It is like birthday. Something happened in that birthday, something happened on that birthday, and something happened on that particular day, something happened on that particular day. If somebody says that dates are important, then in my opinion, for UPSC students, dates are just such an important days just have such importance as if you are remembering someone's birthday. But if you are not remembering someone's birthday, but you are aware or you know that he knows everything, you know everything about that particular person, then you cannot say that you know nothing about him. Date is just to make you remember the fact or remember the event. If any event takes place, it creates circumstances. It creates circumstances. And these circumstances gives rise to another event, and that another event ultimately creates new circumstances, and then new circumstances would give rise to new event. Give rise to new event. Yes or no? And this process goes on continuously. For example, if you want to ask me why I am saying so and what is the reason behind this concept, or why I am talking so, and then I can just make you understand by taking an example of present day or present day scenario. Actually, circumstances starts from 9/11. 9/11 was an event. This event was nothing 9/11/2000. Actually, I am just trying to make you understand that what is history. It is my effort to make you understand that what history and in what way we should study history. In what way we should study history. Yeah, what is history? Now the thing is 9/11/2000 was the date. This was the date which is very much important for the world, because from here history starts changing its phase or changing its phrase or whatever you want to say. The event of 9/11, that America was attacked, America was attacked by terrorist groups. Terrorist groups. If you would search in YouTube, you would find, if you would search in YouTube on YouTube or Google, you would find that World Trade Center was attacked by 2 planes and Al-Qaeda was blamed for it. Al-Qaeda was blamed for it, and the famous terrorist was Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. You must have heard about it. Or if you don't know his name, then go for Google and find information about him. Actually, this event, that America was attacked by terrorist groups, was an event. And to remember this event, that on what date this attack took place, this date is important. 9/11 became the symbol of terrorist attack on America. Because before that, America was not attacked by any power till after Second World War. Pearl Harbor incident took place, and after that America was never attacked. But this was the attack on the heart of America, and other attacks also took place simultaneously. But how would you say that this event was the sole event? No. Actually, this event was also the outcome of certain circumstances. Why I am telling you this? Because I just want to make you understand that history is nothing but the study of circumstances. If you are able to study the circumstances created by the events or the events developed by the circumstances, then you can imagine the scenario of that particular period, of that particular phase or particular date. Then you can understand the rest of the situations. And at that time, yeah, for that circumstance, date never matters, but if you are able to understand the circumstances and the consequences and all, and you can imagine the 6 dimension or 8 dimensions of that particular event and all the factors of that event, all the players of that event, then you would not feel any hardship or any problem in learning the dates also. Therefore, what I want to say you is that if you want to study history, then try to understand the circumstances. And I am giving you the examples from modern history, that how circumstances creates event and events create circumstances. Then why this event took place is the main thing. This event took place from Cold War. Cold War was the process going on in this world between 2 powers, that is America and erstwhile USSR. America and USSR were fighting with each other in the form of proxy wars and all. तो वो जब लड़ रहे थे, when they were fighting, the outcome of this Cold War was fall of USSR, or you can say disintegration of USSR 1991 and 1992. 1989 till 1991 actually fall of USSR took place. Before that, two powers were fighting with each other. Then the fall of USSR and the, you can say, disintegration of, या फिर you can say downfall of communist world. Communist world. You cannot say complete downfall of communist world, but a phase of communist world was there. Phase of communist world was there. Now the situation is, Cold War was there. After the end of Cold War ended with the disintegration of USSR, disintegration of USSR, and with the disintegration of USSR, hegemony या rise of unipolar world under America. World under America. Rise of unipolar world under America. It means America was the sole power in the world. If America was the sole power, then American hegemony was there. Hegemony was there. अमेरिका की बदमाशी बहुत ज़्यादा थी. American hegemony was there. And if American hegemony was there, if American hegemony was there, then you would say that in this American hegemony, some sections of the society or some radical fractions, sections of the society got annoyed from, have radical sections of the word had difference of opinion with America, This difference of opinion led to rivalry, and this rivalry led to proxy war, or you can say, you can't say proxy war, but guerrilla war, or guerrilla war, which was termed as guerrilla war, which was termed as terrorism in this world by the Western world. That is why from here, rise of Western world or rise of terrorism took place, and a lot of terrorist attacks were taking place on Western countries or their embassies in many parts of the world, mainly in a large section of the world or large parts of the world. Then if this situation was going on, if this situation was there and if this situation was going on, then what happened actually? Look, when the situations were there, then these terrorist organizations which were hatched by America to counter the spread of communism, which was nurtured by, hatched by, or financed by America, or raised by America, established by America, stood in front of America. When they stood in front of America, then America's ascendancy or America's dominance was not digested or was not acceptable to these terrorist organizations. Therefore, 9/11 took place. Attack of 9/11 was the outcome of unipolar world. Because no power in this world was present at that time, no power in this world was present who could attack America at that time. If no power was present, if no power was present in America, if no power was present in this world who could challenge America in any way, then these terrorist organizations started attacking America in a very guerrilla form, or you can say in different manners. This 9/11 attack was the outcome of that circumstances, and the event took place. And this event created new circumstances, and this event forced America to enter into war against terrorism. If these circumstances forced America to enter into war against terrorism, then America fought war in Afghanistan, and then it entered into Iraq, and then it supported the rebels of Syria, and whole of the Middle East started burning. But during this period, when America and the Western world fighting war, trillions of dollars were spent, on the war. If trillions of dollars were spent, these ultimately led to economic recession, या फिर recession of 2008. Recession of 2008. Just try to understand what I am saying, or what I want to make you understand here, that how an event changes the circumstances and how these circumstances are converted into another form or another phase. How these circumstances were changed into another form or another phase. If you would say so, or if you would see this situation, then the main thing is recession took place. But when recession took place, it disrupted, or you can say affected, American economic most. It affected American economy most. Affected American economic most. American economy most. सबसे ज़्यादा American economy and the Western economy was hampered by this economic recession. When America and Europe were busy in these wars, one power was doing progress silently. One power, one country was focusing on progress silently, and that power was China. Yes or no? When whole of this world, this is going to create a circumstance. This is going to create a circumstance. Whole of this process is going on simultaneously, in a very simultaneous way. All the processes are taking place simultaneously at the same time. When America and Western world is busy in here, then China was busy in progress, in doing progress and focusing on its strategies and all. When all the situations were there and all the things were taking place, it resulted into what? It resulted into that China became the manufacturing hub of this world, or we can say that whole of the economy of this world got coupled with or became dependent on China. Now, economically, China became so much powerful that it is going to surpass American economy. Now, this China became a threat to America. When America got aware about the situations that China is strengthening its position in different regions of the world, now America woke up, and when America woke up, it started moving, it started acting against China. Now the situations are like China became a threat to America, then China versus America took place. Along with this, India was also growing and all. Now these are the new circumstances. China versus America is the new circumstances. This new circumstance could lead to World War III or a situation like that. And World War III would be an event. It means event gives rise to circumstances, and circumstances when intermingle, or you can say interact with each other, it gives rise to event. Study of the circumstances and their impact and the possibility to avoid that circumstances is history. Possibility to avoid these circumstances is history. Therefore, history is a continuous process. You cannot divide history on the basis of dates. Dates are just to make you understand that how these circumstances are taking place easily and how these circumstances must be handled in a very particular way. This is the situation, and therefore we must study history, but we should not focus on the dates. One more example I can give you on the basis of dates. One more better example that can make you understand in a very convenient way, that let us assume or let us discuss about an year, that is 2014. If you want to be precise, then the date is 26 May 2014, when your present Prime Minister held the office or went into the office. When your present Prime Minister entered into the office, this date would be considered as an important event or important date in the history of India mainly in the history of India, as well as if something different would take place then in the history of the world also. That ascendancy, or you can say Modi entered into PM office, or Modi became the PM of India. If somebody is going to write some history in 2050, maybe one of you, then he would definitely write that 2014 till 2050 is the era of BJP, and he would definitely write the fact that BJP RSS era. Don't think that I am going to support BJP RSS and I am the supporter of RSS. No, I am not the supporter of any party. I am the supporter of my country. And I am a student of history, and if I am a student of history, then definitely I would say that in history, whatever is present, we should read that, we should accept that, because as the situations are going on, no power is, no political party is visible as capable to challenge Britisher or challenge India, challenge this country in any way, challenge this particular party in any way. Understand? And they would remain in power till this approximate phase. Now, this is the period, and before that 2014 from 1989, this is the era of coalition government, or you can say transition phase of India, when India was ruled by a coalition governments. Era of coalition government. It means no power in India was present who could challenge, who could claim as the national complete, as the presence in whole nation. Now BJP can claim that they have their presence in mainly in the 80% of India's regions, India's states. Now this is the transition phase, and from 1947, or you can say before that also, till 1989, this is the era of Congress. Now, from 1947 to 1989, your grandparents would have been there in India. आप तो होंगे नहीं. And during this era, 1989 to 2014, your parents definitely were present in 1989, बच्चे रहे होंगे, but your parents जो age है, they have lived in this particular era also, that is in the era of coalition phase. And your parents as well as grandparents, maybe grandparents or at least parents, are living in this phase also, at least 2030 or 2040. What you would say? During 2014, इस period के अंदर we have changed, or our grandparents have changed, or parents have changed. No. I was present in 1989 also, when the era of coalition government started. I was present in 2014 also, when the era of Modi government is present. God knows till when, till what time or till what year I would live, but you would definitely live till 2050 or 2070 or whatever you wish to live. But the reality is, a common mass never changes. Common man's behavior changes. Common man's remain there. If somebody is thinking that from this age whole of country would change, no. Whole of country never changed. Till this phase or during this phase, regime changes. A date mentions about the change in regime. And the change in regime always creates an impression over the society till the last. the change in regime shows the behavior of the society, shows the ideology which was prevailing in the society, and impact over the society is very much important. Therefore, with the activities of the regime, activities of the government, or activities of the topmost level of the society, you can predict that what could be going on or what could had happened, yeah, what would had happened in that particular phase or period. What would had happened in that particular phase or particular period. Now what happened? Now what happened? That in this particular phase or in this particular period, that is 20 जो भी है, how the behavior of our country changed. Before 2014, nothing like Gorakshak, nothing like debate on Hindu-Muslim, nothing like debate on many of the policies was there, was going on. Foreign policy of India was quite different. Our government was adopting the appeasement policy towards Pakistan, and our government was adopting defensive policy towards China till 2014. They never acted in an aggressive way. They never opted for development of the border infrastructure, and a lot of things also were taking place at that time, that government was taking something different or totally different foreign policy at that time. It is a statement of A.K. Antony in Parliament, in Rajya Sabha mainly, where he was saying that infrastructure on border infrastructure towards China is in very bad state, and the policy adopted by Congress was that China is not going to use our infrastructure to enter into India. It means we were adopting the defensive policy and defensive, ultra defensive policy, or you can say that government had a fear towards China. What your present government did, they just not only developed infrastructure over the border, they not only developed the infrastructure over the border, but also they are just countering China in an efficient way, and you can see the whatever is taking place on your border after Corona period, that you are countering China in Galwan Valley, you are countering China in Pangong Tso Lake, you are capturing the heights of Helmet Hill and Blacktop Hill and all, you are fighting China or countering China in Dapsang Plains, Dapsang Plateau, you are countering China you are building a good infrastructure, or you are building a lot of infrastructure on Arunachal border also. Now during this phase, the activities of Nepal also got changed. So then you can see that policies of a government changes, and the policies of the government also shows you the behavior, also shows the reflection of the common masses towards you. And this is also very much important for a society. This is also very much important for a society, or mainly for a student of history, because you are going to learn from the mistakes, and a historian or a student of international relation who also have a knowledge of history, at least from Napoleon era also, that after Napoleon era, if a student of international relations also always have a knowledge of Napoleon's era, knowledge from Napoleon's era, and what he used to predict, they always have a prediction that now the next step of China would be this, and the next step of China would be that. And in that scenario, that next step of China would be this and would be that. What would you say? That study of history is important. And during this phase, you can predict the possibility or the possible effects of any of the steps taken by the society, or any of the steps taken by the government or your enemy country, or any of the effects of the policies of any effect of any of the policy framed by the government over the common masses, and the behavior of common masses also, reaction of common masses also. Therefore, we must study about history, and a study of history can make you capable to predict the effects of some steps taken by the government, of some policies adopted by the government, or some policies of your enemies also. Therefore, I would say that this is important, and in this way you just focus on the circumstances, what circumstances are going on, and I will try my best to make you understand that how the study was going on, how the systems were going on, and how the society was going on, and what were the factors which were responsible for the circumstances, and what was the outcome of the circumstances in the form of events, and what was the effect of event, or what was the result of event in the creation of new circumstances, and how the history went on from Stone Age till 1964. Because after 1964 you would study all these things in contemporary period, mainly IR, Indian foreign policy and all. Therefore, I would just teach you this phase. In the next video, I am going to start with modern history. In the modern history, I am going to teach you the beginning phase of modern history, how the beginning of modern history took place and all. Till that, thank you.